Hello, hello, everybody. Hello, hello. How are you today? How is your week? Hello, everybody. Okay, fine. Some technical problems. There were. Maybe it's Friday. So, how are you? And what are you doing this week? Any plans for this weekend? Any plans for Friday and other weekends? Can you type in the chat box? I was last time in Odessa last weekend, and this week I plan to stay in Kiev, just to chill in Kiev. What about you? Hello, hello, Eva, Juliana. I'm fine. Okay, I'm also fine. Good. I don't have some special plans. Okay, fine. It's been like month, less than a month, right? It's maybe three weeks till the end of summer. And it's been very weird about the lockdown itself and online and offline learning. What about you? What do you think? Will you be studying online or offline? That's kind of just where very okay, good. Let's have a look. So today, not today, but the next week, it will be the Gala project week. And like starting from today, it's been a Gala project week. And the task, just let me find your QR code to send you right now. So I'm not sure whether the QR code that I have is valid. Right, it's the same. Good. Let's get it started. So today, the topic of this week is self-presenting and self-branding technique and the self-presenting skill. That's why let's pencil in the agenda of today's webinar. We're going to have a little bit of a discussion. After that, we're going to talk about personal branding as an essential skill of today's society. Then we are going to concentrate more on self-introduction and self-introduction tips and self-branding tips. After that, we are going to cover some of the self-presentation ideas and the examples from the popular TV shows or films or trilogies, sagas, and etc. And after that, here you can see the self-presentation practice. It means that you are going to scan this QR code right now. And to this Google folder, you are going to send your self-presentations or self-brandings. That's why it can be any format possible, anything which is very creative, anything which is very original. And for the best project that you will send to this folder, you will get prizes. So for the best gala project, you will get the last, not the last, but it's the last project that you are going to have. That's why it's awarded, and you will get some prizes from me. The winner will be chosen with the help of votings, and all teachers will be voting for the best project ever. So self-presentation. I guess we will study offline. Which do you prefer, online or offline? For me, it doesn't matter, but I like online better. Especially studying, like to do some creative work today. Okay, work today for the weekend, planning to enjoy my holidays. Okay, good. So you're going to send, again, scan this QR code, and you are going to send the project to this folder. Like that. Good. So self-presentation or self-branding, it can be video, it can be a post, it can be your Instagram profile, it can be, or any other profile, doesn't matter. It can be maybe PowerPoint presentation. So any way possible, any format possible, it doesn't matter for me. The thing that really matters for me is just your creativity and all the tips that we are going to talk today. We're going to cover today. Good. Clear. Now, let's discuss some of the questions. The first one, how often do you have to present yourself and what do you usually say? Can you type in the chat box? How often do you have to present yourself and what do you usually say? What techniques do you usually use? And what behavior do you tend to have during self-presentations? For example, as I'm a teacher, I have to present myself quite often, and it's a very, it's not painful, but sometimes it can be very hard, and the process can be unexpected. The result can be unexpected. That's why every teacher has his own self-presentation technique or self-presentation activity, which is called breaking the ice. And me, speaking about me, I also have this technique or this activity. I usually have the presentation, PowerPoint presentation with my funny photos. And I have usually 9 facts about me, or maybe 7 facts about me. And the thing is that 2 of these facts should be false. 2, 3 doesn't really matter. Only 2, 3 facts should be false. And students have to work together in pairs, maybe in groups, and guess. So they look at me, they look at how I'm speaking, look at the photos, and they discuss which facts can be false. That's why it helps somehow to know myself. After that, I tell them the false facts, and in a way, I'm self-presenting myself about all the facts that I had on the presentation, like that. Not so often, right? That's why it's my own technique, which helps to know myself better, to know your teacher better, and to know my students. After that, I ask the same activity to do the same activity with my students. They write about 4 or 5 facts about themselves, which 2 of them should be false. 2 or 1 doesn't really matter, like that. Okay, what about you? Usually I present myself when I meet new people. It's not so often. Usually almost everyone instead teachers know me or some information about me. Okay, good. Right, let's go to the next one. What do you think? How does a perfect self-presentation look like? How the perfect one should look like? Which peculiarities does it have to be? Does it have to contain? Uh, I can be a new student at school. I need to present annual places. I just tell a random fact, maybe something unusual. Okay, good. That's very cool when you say something unusual, some interesting facts about yourself. Not just like, hello, I'm 22. I'm from Lubny and I live in Kiev. Okay, fine. That's not so interesting, right? So for me, a perfect self-presentation should be, first of all, natural, second, sincere, and third, positive. So these 3 aspects are super important for me and super important for perfect self-presentation. Should be natural, should be sincere, and positive. Natural, it should look like you didn't learn it by heart, this self-presentation. It should flow smoothly from the depths of your heart, from just your inner feelings should speak, and everybody understand that you want this information to be digested by other people. Sincere, that's you have to be sincere about your feelings, about your personality. So everything you don't hide anything from others. So sincerity. And positive, of course, it should be positive. You have to target your audience. You have to hit it. Like to attract some attention and to be what to say even in Ukrainian, to be understood by other people, and to have this positive atmosphere lingering around the place, or around the area that you, around the people who you present yourself to, like that. It's written easier to understand it. It should contain some jokes or something funny, right? Very good. Funny. So funny stuff is also important. As I said to you before, I usually have some funny photos of me to present my students, because it's cool, it's interesting. Everybody, you just instantly become the same as your students. like you're the same as your students, on the same wavelengths, that you are you are not just like a teacher, but you are the same person as your students. Okay, what about the last one? Why is being able to deliver great self-presentation so important in the modern world? Why? It depends on who you need present yourself to. I think that perfect needs to look like easy and enjoying the process, positive. A perfect, energetic, engaging, and easygoing, natural. The way you are. I present my best self. Right, good. Why is being able to deliver great? So why? The reason why this skill of self-presenting is important in today's and modern world. Why it's so important? Just want to know your opinions about that. Because it's quite an interesting topic. It's not the topic, but it's a question which is quite interesting, and I have my own view on that. But before I tell you about my view, I want to know your feelings. So the reason. The reason. Not so many people are watching us today. Sorry. Nobody is writing here. Oh, the answers, because in modern world we often need to present ourselves, and first thoughts, first impressions, right, about the person are very important on communication and selling yourself. As for me, a perfect short. It's interesting to guess them, adds fun to the conversation. I like it. It's a real icebreaker, right? It's icebreaker. It's called like that. And that's probably every activity that is a start of the lesson, is a start of the course, and everybody is new to each other. Every activity when you present yourself is an icebreaker. Set your own standards, and your social state of your persona will open better perspectives. Good. Right. I really like the idea of Maria. And I'm 100% with her here, because today's world is the consumer society, and we have buyers and we have sellers. So in order to sell yourself for a but for a reasonable price, you need to have a good self-presentation, rather good self-presentation. That's why it's very important to sell yourself correctly, and in an upbeat manner. So the person will instantly click with you. One should always be positive. No, of course. Right, Rita, correct. Good. And today's society is divided into two categories, sellers and buyers. So you can, of course, switch your roles. When you are looking for the job, you are a seller. When you are hiring somebody or you are buying something, you are a buyer. That's why everything is important nowadays, and self-presentation is immensely important today. So, and the technique which I was going to talk today is self-branding. Personal branding is about taking responsibility over how you present yourself. If you strive to position yourself as an expert or become an influencer within your niche, self-branding can help increase your reputation as a leader. By showcasing unique character traits and having an active presence online, you can work towards building a personal brand that resonates with people all over the world. Today, and this webinar is dedicated to the guidelines and steps towards branding yourself with 10 personal tips. So what's that? What's personal branding? Personal branding is the practice of creating a brand around a person rather than a business entity. Personal branding is used to help further people's career by positioning them as an expert within their industry. So it shows their area of expertise. By developing a personal brand, a person can grow their social following to help them secure a better job, sell more products in their business, and increase better opportunities in their career. Building a personal brand is not something that happens overnight. It can take lots of planning and months of hard work to start seeing the results. Sometimes you need to improve your personal brand after receiving feedback. This type of branding can also be called self-branding. So I want you to somehow differentiate branding and self-branding, but in today's webinar, we are going to use these two terms interchangeably with the same meaning. To grow your own personal brand, you can write a personal brand statement. A personal brand statement sets out who your audience will be, the value you want to give to your audience, and why people should follow you. While building your personal brand, you should pull from 1-2 sentence statement to ensure that you are remaining true to you. Why is personal branding important? Personal branding is important because it helps give a person more credibility. It's never been more competitive to land a new job or earn a paycheck. With more people building personal brands, you need to put yourself out there to get noticed. Personal branding can let recruiters find experts like you with ease, especially if you've been blogging brand yourself. If you are trying to land a higher position at a new company, you can showcase key data such as the number of followers you have, how much traffic your website gets, or other vital metrics which can give you a competitive edge over your candidates or over your opponents. Think of it almost like an online portfolio about yourself. Branding yourself allows more people to get to know who you are and how you bring your value. It also can help you land new opportunities like business deals or marketing partnerships that you wouldn't otherwise have, especially if you are a person of influence. Self-branding instills trust and credibility in your knowledge and your abilities. So companies know that partnering with you will improve their brand awareness. Branding yourself is in an authentic way by showing your personality is an excellent way of differentiating yourself from others. Differentiating from others in your field, and developing your personal brand. So we will talk more about this today. So speaking about this one, with the social technologies like different social media like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, they enable people to become known, connect different people with each other, connect some people with their audience, and build relationships on a global scale. And that's the main reason why you need to have your own brand and use these branding for your self-presentation. We are living in a paradoxic times where people are looking to connect directly with the other, to hear each other's stories from the first person. So how to develop your brand, how to improve your self-branding. Once you have started to work on your personal branding, feedback and ensuring your self-brand is aligned with your personal branding statement will help you to improve on your progress. Personal branding has been hugely successful for many different people, but without your personal branding statement, it can be hard to know. When you have achieved success in your endeavors, it's essential to know what progress looks like to improve your personal branding. Follow these steps to improve your personal brand. Research and create your personal branding statement. Define your audience at this stage and audit competitor that may exist for you. 2, build a personal branding strategy. Strategy is important. So plan how to engage with your target audience, how to hit it, how to entice it. And define what success will look like for you in 2 months, 2 years, or 9 months. Monitor your personal brand engagement. Promote positive participation and have a plan of action for negative remarks. Develop your personal brand. Aim to share your personal brand through social media, networking, outreach, and speaking opportunities. Consider blogging, vlogging, podcasts, and other ways that you could promote your personal brand in a way that your audience will consume the content quickly. Have a communication plan. Controlling your presence online can be time-consuming. So this plan will help you with negative backlash and help you to easily provide information to partners that you will work with down the line. Measure your success regularly. Set some KPIs for personal brand success so that you know you are heading in the right direction. Celebrate even small wins to remain motivated to achieve more. So after doing all these, how do you know if you have been successful in building your personal brand? So here are a few valuable KPIs that we can name. When a sale converts through your blog, when you are asked to speak at an event or a podcast, when someone refers to you as a potential client, when a publication reaches out to invite you to guest blog, when people start mentioning you online on social media, tagging you in their blogs or other important media. So where personal branding, also we have spoken about the advantages. Let's speak about the disadvantages of and some downsides of branding. So where personal branding hasn't been successful. Branding yourself is not an easy feat, and it's time consuming, slow, and sometimes hard to stomach. Receiving negative feedback online can knock you even if you have a great communication plan. And sometimes you don't feel like being the brand you have built. So let's highlight a few things to consider when branding yourself so that you can improve your self-brand quickly. So it will be bad if you ignore other influences. Chances are you are not the only person in your industry building their personal brand, and others have been there longer. So do your research to make sure what you aim to achieve hasn't been done before. So list your competitors, monitor them often to know what they are doing and see if you can borrow an idea or two of them. Identify potential partners who you can reach out to and ask for advice. So you don't waste time on worthless ventures. Good. Ignoring your followers can be quite hard and problematic task that can influence your progress. Once you have built even a small following, make sure you listen to what they are saying. If you promote a product and they don't like it, find out why and decide if it's the best product to promote or to partner with. Read the comments after your social media post to get a good idea of what your following enjoys, and use a search engine to search your name online. You might uncover something about yourself that you didn't know about before. So as I said here, sometimes you can find when developing your own brand, sometimes you can find something unusual about yourself, something that you haven't noticed before about yourself. Good. Generating subpar content. Slacking off is never the right choice, especially when you are trying to build a brand around your knowledge in the area. Keep yourself in tune with industry, and if you are not a great writer, choose a different medium to promote yourself or hire a freelancer to help you up your game. Branding yourself wrong. Without the right research, you can end up creating a personal brand that nobody wants to get behind. If your industry is old-fashioned and you want to breathe life into it, make sure to research if this will be met with positivity. Go out in the industry and ask the hard questions first before diving into branding yourself. The utterly wrong way. It's important to mention here that your personal brand should be your true self and not something that you have to create. The more natural you are, the easier it's to remain consistent over time. But not being consistent, that's another drawback and advantage that can hinder your success. So being consistent is the most critical element of self-branding. People who change their belief system at the drop of a hat cannot be trusted in what they say in their content. Trust is ultimately what followers want. Followers identify with specific thought structures, and they follow people who think similarly to them. If you change these fundamental beliefs, followers will not trust you, and they will not trust in your personal brand any longer. Forgetting the longer term. For a personal brand, long term is essential so you know where your brand is going. If you plan, oh my God. If you plan to provide how-to videos for makeup, for example, with your audience being beginners or young people interested in improving the makeup abilities, do you want to advance these videos long term as your followers advance, or you will be happy to remain at the same level, always providing beginner tutorials? These things should be thought about in the early stages of your planning process so you can slowly move in the right direction. So, speaking about the branding tips, personal branding tips. First of all, as I said before, be authentic. When it comes to self-branding, being authentic is essential. But what does it mean? It means be yourself. Just be yourself. Everyone's got their own quirk. Maybe you randomly burst into song in the middle of a conversation. Maybe you have a really different way of dressing yourself. There's something about you that makes you an original, that makes you, me, and others. Right. And if you are serious about branding yourself, now's the time to come to terms with your quirkiness. Truth is that special trait is what will make you stand out on a planet of 7 billion people. Celebrate your differences and let your true self show. Blogging for personal branding. Blogging for personal branding is one strategy used by many of the top influencers. Why does it work? Well, today you might be a nobody with no voice, but if you consistently create content within your niche for at least 1 to 2 years, eventually you'll be building an audience around yourself. There's 2 ways to approach blogging for personal branding. First, you can build your own blog. This personal branding strategy will require the most upfront work, but will ultimately be the most rewarding. Or you can write guest posts on top blogs within your niche. This will allow you to build an audience faster, but you don't own any of the virtual properties. So if you consistently make some content and create some content on a daily basis, it will help you on a regular basis. It will help you and immensely help you to grow some audience. Provide value. When people say provide value, it usually sounds like fluff. Here's what it means. Say you are selling makeup products. You could either be the brand that solely runs ads, or you could build that personal brand where you create makeup tutorial videos, write articles about common makeup questions, host a stream of makeup inspiration ideas for different seasons or events. While a customer could very well buy from a brand that solely runs ads, they'll be more likely to buy from an ad run by an influencer who provides value. Why? Because that influencer helped them and taught them something new even before they were ready to buy. That brand is at the top of mind. Step out of the spotlight. I know it seems counterintuitive, but being in the spotlight all the time can take a toll on your life. Plus, sometimes people need to miss you for a bit to realize how much they need you in their daily life. Let's think of Taylor Swift. Before she launched her latest album, Reputation, she hadn't posted on social media for about 2 years. She completely stepped out of the spotlight as she started recognizing the toxic side of fame. When building a personal brand, you'll realize that there is a downside to too much attention. It's okay to step out of the spotlight every now and then to build yourself back up. Be consistent. Consistency is the secret sauce that winning personal brands have in common. Consistency isn't only about posting on social media every day. It's about unifying the brand look and messaging. Do all your social media posts look different or do they look the same? Some will tell you that you need to have variety with your content, but truth is, the more consistent you are, the easier it is to grow a following. If your favorite pop singer suddenly created a jazz album, you'd probably lose interest because you prefer the original music they created. Same with personal branding. Your audience will fall in love with the way you present content. If you change tunes, they'll jump ship. Network. It's hard to master branding yourself if you never put yourself out there. Start that blog, hit up that meetup point, mingle with people at conferences, grab that cup of coffee with a stranger. Post on social media every day. The more you interact with people, the larger your network becomes. While you may be tempted to stick to a niche focused network, the smartest thing to do is to expand into other categories. You never know when you'll meet someone who offers a different perspective or whose expertise in this area that you'll need to know more about down the road. Become a creator. Some build a personal brand by being controversial. This can sometimes backfire and result in a lot of negative publicity. The safer way to create a great personal brand is to become a creator itself. Whether you create your own online store, a unique product, a content, don't underestimate how important creation is. The best influencers are creators and doers. So start that online store, create that YouTube channel, and actually commit to posting each week or write guest articles on notable blogs. Hiding behind your computer and spending your weekend watching Netflix isn't going to help with self-branding. Be an expert. Branding yourself can be hard when you don't have an area of expertise. Every influencer has his or her own niche. If you have an online store selling tools, you might want to make sure you're an expert in carpentry, furniture, design, or some other sort of relevant niche. If you sell car parts, you should probably build up the expertise in the automotive industry so you can provide your value. Another way to look at it is to build a brand around your own area of expertise. Say you worked at a hair salon for 5 years. You might build a personal brand where you share your expertise on hair issues while selling hair products. And it's very important here. And the last one, but not the least, it's amplify yourself. Earlier, we spoke about authenticity. Amplifying yourself is the second step. In a crowded world, it can be hard to stand out. Amplifying yourself is where you take the essence of who you are and ride wild with it. For example, say you are a risk taker. If you want to build a personal brand around creating content of you doing a bunch of risks, a bunch of daredevil activities, kind of like how Nick will land a tightrope across Niagara Falls, or Felix Baumgartner did a supersonic fall from the edge of space. You might not do something as extreme, but you do more extreme activities that the average person wouldn't do. And also be social. Personal brands can only be built with can't be only built without social interaction and human interaction. Humanize your social media, your self-branding blog, or anything. Building a personal brand can help elevate your business to new heights. By following a combination of the personal branding tips, such as being authentic, consistent, social, you help increase your chances of success in your career. I know it can be scary to put yourself out there, but the reward is much greater than the risk. You can have the power to really make an impact in the world. Your legacy lies in your hands. Good. So can you please write in the chat box or type in the chat box famous brand personalities you know, who you know. And Why have they become brands? Not brands like Nike or I don't know, Toyota or somebody, but brand personalities like Dude. Who else? Some bloggers, right? Nastya Ivleeva, right? What else? So some brand personalities, especially not brands, because I know also a lot of brands who became popular, but what about brand personalities? For me, a great brand personality is Nastya Ivleeva and Dude, for example, as like the first people that comes to my mind. What about you? Kylie Jenner, cool. Badana, thanks a lot for these Kardashians. Because Kardashians became a real brand personalities. They became nonsense. Not nonsense, but they became like a frenzy, a phenomenon. It's a very cool phenomenon that became a self-brand, really. Kylie Jenner, Kim Kardashian, just a very big so she has her own beauty business named Kylie Cosmetics, right? This one, Color Pop, it's by Kim Kardashian, right? Color Pop. I had the palette by Color Pop. It's so bad. I don't like it. I don't know, their brands are just very bad, I should say, a total BS. That's better even to buy maybe Anastasia Beverly Hills or any other brand which is not so on hype because of the brand personality. Right, very good. Thanks a lot. Yava, thanks a lot. And Badana, thanks a lot. Good. So what do you need to consider when branding yourself? So we have spoken about that, and how can your personal brand become known? Right. So we've spoken about that too. Good. And to help you, you need to have a self-introduction speech sometimes. And here are some tips for your self-introduction speech. Be visually appealing. Speak with conviction. Be convictive. Adopt the right body language. The paralanguage is also very important. And wear the upbeat mood. Be positive. Become your best friend. Don't put yourself down. Don't underestimate your abilities or skills. Ignore everyone else and focus on yourself. Make some notes. Watch the timing. Stick to the timing. Breathe and relax. Trick yourself into being confident, and prepare and practice in readiness. Good. Let's have a look at the examples of self-presentations by different actors, by different characters of our favorite films. They are cool, really cool. Maybe you will take something for you in your project, to your project.
Who are you? You wouldn't believe in me if I told you. Who are you? I'm Mr. Nobody, the man who doesn't exist. I'm Batman.
Harley Quinn, nice to meet you.
You can call me Joker.
As you no doubt have guessed, I am Morpheus.
It's an honor to meet you.
No, the honor is mine.
Lilu Dallas Multipass.
Multipass. You know this Multipass. Leave Dallas. My wife.
Han Solo. I'm captain of the Millennium Falcon. Fast ship. You've never heard of the Millennium Falcon?
I'm Captain Jack Sparrow.
Harry Potter. Cricket, you're Harry Potter. I'm Hermione Granger. And you are? Ron Weasley. Pleasure.
Hello. My name's Forrest Gump. You want a chocolate?
The name's Sherlock Holmes, and the address is 221B Baker Street.
The name's Bond. James Bond.
My very good honor to meet you, and you may call me V. Voila! I'm Gatsby.
And your turn will be in the projects. Good. And let's have a look at the video, also by an expert on self-presentation, Diana Nerd, or Nyard. I don't really quite get where she's from. Good. So let's have a look at the last 6 minutes of our time.
It's the 5th time I stand on this shore, the Cuban shore, looking out at that distant horizon, believing again that I'm going to make it all the way across that vast, dangerous wilderness of an ocean. Not only have I tried 4 times, but the greatest swimmers in the world have been trying since 1950, and it's still never been done. The team is proud of our 4 attempts. It's an expedition of some 30 people. Bonnie is my best friend and head handler, who somehow summons will, that last drop of will within me when I think it's gone, after many, many hours and days out there. The shark experts are the best in the world, large predators below. Now the box jellyfish, the deadliest venom in all of the ocean, is in these waters, and I have come close to dying from them on a previous attempt. The conditions themselves, besides the sheer distance of over 100 miles in the open ocean, currents and whirling eddies, and the Gulf Stream itself, the most unpredictable of all of the planet Earth. And by the way, it's amusing to me that journalists and people, before these attempts often, ask me, well, are you going to go with any boats or any people or anything? And I'm thinking, what are they imagining? That I'll just sort of do some celestial navigation and, carry a Bowie knife in my mouth, and I'll hunt fish and skin them alive and, eat them, and maybe drag a desalinization plant behind me for fresh water. Yes, I have a team. And the team is expert. And the team is courageous and brimming with innovation and scientific discovery, as is true with any major expedition on the planet. And we've been on a journey. And the debate has raged, hasn't it, since the Greeks, of isn't it what it's all about? Isn't life about the journey, not really the destination? And here we've been on this journey, and the truth is it's been thrilling. We haven't reached that other shore, and still our sense of pride and commitment, unwavering commitment. When I turned 60, the dream was still alive from having tried this in my 20s and dreamed it and imagined it. The most famous body of water on the earth today, I imagine, Cuba to Florida. And it was deep in my soul. And when I turned 60, it wasn't so much about the athletic accomplishment. It wasn't the sort of ego of I want to be the first. That's always there and it's undeniable. But it was deeper. It was how much life is there left? Let's face it, we're all on a one-way street, aren't we? And what are we going to do? What are we going to do as we go forward to have no regrets looking back? And all this past year in training, I had that Teddy Roosevelt quote, to paraphrase it, floating around in my brain. And it says, you go ahead. You go ahead and sit back in your comfortable chair and you be the critic. You be the observer. While the brave one gets in the ring and engages and gets bloody and gets dirty and fails over and over and over again, but yet isn't afraid and isn't timid and lives life in a bold way. And so, of course, I want to make it across. It is the goal. And I should be so shallow to say that this year, the destination was even sweeter than the journey. But the journey itself was worthwhile taking. And at this point, by this summer, everybody, scientists, sports scientists, endurance experts, neurologists, my own team, Bonnie, said it's impossible. It just simply can't be done. And Bonnie said to me, but if you're going to take the journey, I'm going to see you through to the end of it. So I'll be there. And now we're there. And as we're looking out, kind of a surreal moment before the first stroke, standing on the rocks at Marina Hemingway, the Cuban flag is flying above.
Right. Okay. So she's super inspiring, and she talks a really good deal about the self-presentation. But we don't have a lot of time. So for today, that's it. Thanks a lot for your attention. I'm waiting for the wonderful to create one's brand. Oh, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. That's so sweet. In their own medium, I've got a lipstick and it's really gorgeous, but I can't say that's her palettes. Maybe it's because Kylie wanted to make only lipstick. I'm not speaking about Kylie's brand. I was speaking about, yeah, but I was speaking about Color Pop. It's by Kim Kardashian, right? It's not Kylie's. I don't have anything from Kylie. I have only the palette by Color Pop. That's why I didn't really like it, but that's just my own preference according to towards the palettes. It's not. It doesn't mean that it's bad. It's just I didn't like it. Thanks a lot for today, and I'm waiting for your self-presentations or self-brands on Google Disc. The most creative will be awarded with the present. I'm going to send you this present. Thanks a lot. Have a nice weekend. See you the next week. Bye-bye.